All set to go then here at Silverstone for the sprint race of FIA Formula 3 in 2024. However, it's a delayed start. Torrential rain here overnight and it's continuing now. This should be a very interesting session. Hello everybody, delayed start, and I think it's obvious as to why. The cars went out on the way to the main pit lane, but Gabriel Mini spinning, beaching himself in the gravel. 3 other cars going off the circuit at Stowe corner. They've managed to, they're trying to push Mini out the gravel as well, but he is properly beached. They've tracked him out and he can start this race, but the weather conditions are just too much right now. And Naomi, we talked about this yesterday, the flat surface we get here as well. It just does not want to do anything. Pit exit confirmed at 9:30 to be open as a to be confirmed, but it's a flat surface here because we're on a plinth, we're high up, 550 above altitude level as well, so it really is like it's impossible to race in these conditions, and it is really, really bad out there.
Yeah, it is really, really bad out there. As you mentioned, cars going off exactly at the same corner, exactly at the same time as well at Stowe corner when they were doing their reconnaissance laps as well. So it's just too wet out there. They aren't able to race right now. If they do race, then we'll just see more of that, just cars spinning everywhere, constant safety cars, and it wouldn't be safe, of course. So let's hope that this isn't a long delay and the rain does ease off so we can get the action going, because it is a busy schedule here at Silverstone.
It really is a busy, busy schedule. So let's go over to the world feed with Chris McCarthy and Alex Brundle as well to try and keep us informed, and we'll see if in 10 minutes time we have a confirmed start.
Our fans to get the seats in a good spot for the Formula 3 race, and thanks to all of you who are joining us wherever you are joining from. Stay tuned, because in just over 10 minutes we should have the pit lane open if the weather holds for us. And that gives us time, Alex, to reflect where we are in the season as we see our safety car out there just going through. This tends to happen, doesn't it? The safety car will go out and test the circuit for the conditions. Go through where we are in the season. So we are at round 7 of 10 now. This will be our first wet race of the season. Of course, it'll be at Silverstone. Where else would it be than Silverstone? Reflect on qualifying, I think, shall we? Luke Browning put in a superb performance yesterday, didn't he? For those of you who didn't see it, we had Noel Leon in the pit lane on provisional pole, quite literally shouting over the radio for rain. He was saying, please, please keep raining. And then Dino Beganovic became the sweeper out on the circuit, if you like, in rally terms, trying to sweep away the rain for the rest of the drivers. He then started setting personal best sectors. The track then became full, and with that it became, as you said, a one-lap shootout, and Luke Browning was the quickest in that one-lap shootout.
I think Browning and team were as surprised as anyone.
Yes.
When they were like, yes. Over the radio, they were massively surprised that they'd managed to set pole position. The track had an element of temperature to it. We had a reasonable period of sun before that. Sun before that. And it generated a bit of track temperature. The track dried incredibly quickly, and that moment for Browning, quite incredible, able to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. Not so for Dino Beganovic, who still didn't quite manage to get the time he wanted to on the board. And there have been some penalties, haven't there, given out after qualifying, Chris? Yes,
3 place grid penalties going to 4 drivers. So let's talk you through those and our top 10 on the grid. So we reversed the top 12 for the sprint race. As it qualifies, we reversed the top 12. So Noel Leon reverses up to pole position for this one. Never have we had a Mexican winner. He did cross the line first at Imola, but did receive a penalty. Arvid Lindblad, in front of all those home fans who are out there in the stands, is looking to become the first ever British Formula 3 winner on home soil. Matthias Zagazzetta is looking to score the first points for Peru on the second row, ahead of Callum Voisin, who did very well to qualify on the second row. And then we have Christian Mansell and Charlie Wirtz, who qualified in the top 12 for the first time. Lawrence Van Houten, who's always been in the top 12 in qualifying. Then we come to the first of the drivers who's taken a 3-place grid drop in Nicolas Solov. Leo Fornaroli and Luke Browning, 2 of the championship rivals, on row 5. The other grid drops come for Sami Megatuniv, who matched his best qualifying performance, Max Esterson, who got his best qualifying performance at a track he knows for the first time this season, similar to Matthias Zagazzetta, it must be said. Mari Boyer was the other, so 4 drivers in total there taking 3-place grid drops in Nicolas Solov, Sami Megatuniv, Max Esterson and Mari Boyer, and that was for impeding Alex in qualifying.
Yeah, often the way when you only have that one lap to get the job done. Well, there was one lap at the beginning which didn't work out for some, then one lap at the end which didn't work out for others. So those drivers who were impeded, feeling very much aggrieved that they were, especially given the fact that they maybe had one lap to do it. You're on board with a safety car, taking a view of the conditions. Still to be confirmed, that pit lane open at 9:30 a.m. local time, which is coming up to 9:24 local time. So it's going to be another sort of 5 minutes or so. But I do hear, below my commentary position, the reassuring up of Formula 3 V6 Formula 3 engines. So teams certainly keeping the cars warm in anticipation that they might be able to get out on the racetrack. The problem, as we saw for Gabriele Mini as he came to the pit lane, is going to be this standing water. What happens is it gets between the plank of the racing car and the road, and effectively surface tension takes the car off the racetrack, lifts the tyre away from the racetrack, and that's what aquaplaning is considered as in these low-slung Formula cars. So the safety car will be evaluating the potential for that aquaplaning, mostly as it goes around the circuit.
And that's not going to be good mentally, is it, for Gabriele Mini and the other drivers we saw come off? We couldn't identify exactly which of it looked like the Rodin drivers, which of them they were, and they may have even been others. Not good if you've had an off already when you then go out onto the circuit, if the pit lane is indeed to open at 9:30. And I'm sure you've experienced this during your current career, Alex. When you're sat in the pit lane in a delayed start, you just want to get out there, don't you, and get racing, particularly if you're someone like Noel Leon or Arvid Lindblad. You see a great opportunity to go and score big points. Arvid Lindblad well within this title fight, P6 in the championship.
Yeah, it's been a great recent run of form as well for Arvid Lindblad. He had that retirement back in the sprint race at the Red Bull Ring, but a great win for him in Barcelona. They'll be keen to get out there for sure. Anybody who's looking to score big points, and indeed any of the midfield runners who haven't had a podium yet this year, or haven't had the opportunity to take the win that they're looking for if they have scored that first podium, will see this sprint race, mixed conditions, round a tricky circuit, bit of standing water out there, as an opportunity to potentially get that result in a bit of an upset. But of course, it is safety first, as always.
Wow. There we go. It was for the fans.
Yeah, I got my CV out of my bag there for the safety car driver position. As he went sideways through club, then put it back away again when he held it, probably better than I would have done. Stopping at the start line, as they say, to figure out. Well, it's going to give us something to talk about for another 2 minutes, isn't it? Go on. Say we must have that slide in slow.
I think we do.
So.
Yeah, there you go.
We
So
will,
even the safety car is sliding out there, Omi. I don't think we're going to start this for a while, do you?
Yeah, the safety car giving it his all as well. Bert Wallander out there. And yeah, just holding on to it, brilliantly held. But yeah, 30 F3 drivers unsure about that, whether they're going to be able to hold it while trying to overtake each other at every corner. So don't think this one is going to get going, and it seems like down at High Tech they seem to be agreeing.
So what, cancel the race, try it later on tonight after qualifying, or just cancel the race?
Well, of course they have a busy schedule. They can't really fit it in between Formula 2 and Formula 1 qualifying. They have Porsche Super Cup qualifying to run later on. So we are expecting it to get dark. They could try run it then, but then there's also a football match, isn't there?
Yeah.
As well. So that would clash as well, but I guess they would have no other choice. So I'd say, well, it depends how much we get going. They may postpone it and then just fully cancel it, I think.
Safety
That's
car is
usually
now
the
at the
way.
front of the field. That's what we're seeing up here in the commentary box. And we'll wait to see whether or not we get a confirmation on what's going to happen. Let's head back over to the feed.
Missions he would have hoped for. Sixth in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine, has done great things at F4 level. He's been used to racing most of these drivers.
9:45.
James Walton, turns 18 on Monday.
Delayed it again.
There's James, but he was the F4 UAE champion last year, Euro 4 vice champion. A great picture actually, him and Christian Mansell set off on their karting journey together when they came over to Europe, which quite a few drivers from Australia do, and they put out that picture earlier this week of the two of them setting off on their journey to Europe together as kids, going on this karting journey to race in things like the FIA Championships, and now here they are competing against each other in the FIA Formula 3 Championship. There we go, 9:45 is when it looks like we could get the pit lane open, so that slide from the safety car, I think was a part of the confirmation that the track is not in a safe enough state to get the drivers racing currently.
Yeah, that looked like a long conversation from the safety car driver over effectively saying no, didn't it? That the conditions are not appropriate to go racing at the moment. Seb Montoya taking his helmet off and just having a little bit of a wander through Red Bull, presumably to have a comfort break at the rear of the garage. Drivers, I wouldn't be surprised to see them. Yes, I wouldn't be surprised to see them getting out of the cars now. If the rain continues to tee down, if anything, slightly harder than it did earlier on in the session. It was biblical overnight. The rain here. There's obviously a limitation, even though Silverstone is relatively well drained in anticipation of a British summer. There was, there's always a limitation to the amount of drainage that can be done. That's the issue. And cars are, you can be one of the world's greatest racing drivers. If the tyre is not in contact with the racing surface, you have no control of the car. No control of the car means, however brilliant your car control, you've got no control of the car.
No.
So you will simply slide off the road and crash. So that's the state we are in now.
Safety of the drivers comes first in this scenario, as always. So currently we move that pit exit to 9:45. We are at round 7 of the season. We faced gives us time to talk about our championship battle, whilst we are not going to see on-track action for a little while, Alex. Quite a fascinating battle, really, which is turned around all the time. Of course, hopefully we're going to get the pit exit open at 9:45. We do have the feature race tomorrow as well. Luke Browning, 106 points he is on currently. Gabriele Mini on 95. Leo Fornaroli on 86. That's swung multiple ways throughout the last couple of rounds, with qualifying performances which didn't go Leo Fornaroli's way last time. Luke Browning, back-to-back pole positions, has taken charge of the championship. Dino Beganovic, who you saw climb out his car a moment ago, 4th in the standings for him on 80. Then Christian Mansell on 78. Arvid Lindblad and Ollie Goethe are tied on 77 points, leaving us with 29 points between the top 7 drivers. Very, very close coming in to the final few rounds here. I mean, it could go any one of those ways, really, and with drivers out of position, Dino down in 19th place, for example, in this one. Gabriele Mini sits down in 12th. Arvid Lindblad on the front row will be hoping this one gets underway and very quickly. There you can see the championship standings to your left.
Yeah, it's a tight battle right at the front of the series, and also from sort of 5th through 7th, isn't it? That only points between them. So they'll be looking to try and steal points if they possibly can throughout today. Only 3 rounds left. The series one left, so we'll go to Hungary, and then that's always a defining championship moment. Tends to be on the softer end of the compound frame. It's a circuit that drivers might not have been to. It's tight, it's twisty. We see contact in the braking zones. It's tough to overtake, and then of course the high-speed challenge of Spa. Which is always a great qualifying session to see who masters that circuit, and yeah, great racing down towards Les Camps and down towards the final chicane, and then the traditional barnstormer at Monza to end the Formula 3 season, which I think actually when you come to a Formula 3 season as close as we've seen in some recent years, is actually a bit harsh. You got to end the championship somewhere, but the reality of Monza.
Rain should start to drop. Its ways are waiting a bit. The rain should stop a bit, but it will be only 5 minutes stop, then the rain again, but very low intensity.
Radio this time around. But yeah, the side-by-side stuff in the braking zones at Monza. This championship is so much about the wheel-to-wheel racing, and that's the place where it's tested the most. The reason why we are waiting a bit, they're trying to get this Formula 3 race distance away, and there's a decent slot in the schedule here to be able to do it. Right. So, you know, we're trying to basically get the full distance without having to shorten the race. If we do have to shorten the race, there are a sequence of regulations about points and so on, but I think organisers here still hopeful to try to get a full Formula 3 sprint race in.
There we have one of the Red Bull Juniors, which is Arvid Lindblad. He's never raced here before, making his debut at this circuit. He's so fresh into his single-seater career. It's actually his debut at the circuit. He's done all of his racing over in Europe. His mentor, Ollie Rowland, has, though, and has finished on the podium here 3 times at second-tier level. So I'm sure Ollie watching on will be hoping Arvid can go and do the same thing today. There's Tommy Smith. Remember the drive he did here last year when he bolted on the wet tyres at the end of the race and came storming through the field. Tommy Smith, if there's a chance to take a gamble in strategy mid-race, he is a driver that will certainly take. He's done a lot of racing here in the UK, actually, at GB3 level, so knows these conditions and knows these tracks very well.
And he's remembered his glove blower, which is critical for these. I hate windows. There's nothing worse. There's nothing worse. Your hands start to get cold in the cockpit. No matter how good the airflow is, your hands start to get cold in the cockpit. Tommy Smith, yeah, taking that gamble can so often be a weather gamble around Silverstone. I wouldn't be gambling for slicks right now, but it's yeah, we've had mixed conditions so much here. I wouldn't call these mixed conditions.
Joseph Loke is running a new crash helmet this weekend as well, which you just saw. It's a special design he's done just for British Grand Prix weekend. He was named the Aston Martin BRDC Autosport Young Driver of the Year last year as well. So he's actually going to be driving this circuit in an Aston Martin Formula 1 car later this season. I hope he has better conditions than this when they go testing in that. But what a superb accomplishment for Joseph Loke, who that was announced at the Autosport Awards earlier this year, and he got the £250,000 prize money you get as part of that. I mean, former winners are the likes of David Coulthard, Jenson Button, George Russell, Lando Norris. Luke Browning was a winner of that as well, and it was that funding that actually got him into this championship this year. And we've seen what it's done for Luke Browning. Who knows what it could do for Joseph Loke? It's got him into this championship for a start.
It's a great initiative that. It's been going for absolutely years, and long may it continue. Had the support of various Formula 1 teams over the years.
I just want to interrupt because we're now seeing the safety car lap with the audio, and Omi, looking at this coming into Cops, you can see the rivers across the track and the amount of standing water at the exit. So what do you think? I don't think this will happen. Personally, I think we're going to get a call off here.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised if we do get a call off. Now they do have a little bit of time because of course FP3 is at 11:30, so they still do have just under 2 hours. But yeah, it seems they're just gonna try wait it out a little bit. I hope it gets better, and then hopefully they can go racing. But yeah, it seems like it's gonna take quite a bit of time if they are gonna do that.
So yeah, coming down the hangar straight now out of Chapel, and you can still see the amount of water that is on the circuit. Okay, so still got these conditions, and even under the bridge there's a lot of water. It's these straights. This is where we saw the wiggle last time for Burt Mylander. Into Stowe. He's gone right off the line this time to try and see what the water is. Visible rivers and still twitching mid-corner. And there's no... there's rivers on the apex. This is not going to happen. We need to get the rain Stockman dryers out there.
Yeah, indeed. One safety car isn't going to do it all, unfortunately. So we're just basically in a waiting phase, hoping for this race to get underway. But yeah, later on in the day, it could be a little bit chaotic as well then, with this Porsche Supercup F1 and F2 and all of those sessions with how wet it is, and more rain to come as well.
Yeah, more rain predicted out to 10 a.m. by the way as well, coming to Ian Ferguson. A lot of standing water as the safety car comes and lines up on the line once more. I expect this will be the confirmation then from Burt Mylander that the session will not resume. We can see the race director is alongside there, Matez. So there's Burt Mylander. No, not good enough conditions, he's just said over the tannoy as well. So I expect this isn't going to happen as well. I'm keeping my eyes firmly on Burt Mylander here as well to see. I don't think we're going to have this one. It's too wet and it's too much standing water out here. Let's return to the world feed. As soon as we hear anything, we'll let you know.
In order to call it a race in Formula 3, if they have completed 2 green laps, then we operate on a sliding scale in terms of the number of laps that have been completed, which give out a varying, like an increasing number of points depending on the amount of laps that have been done, and whether it's the sprint race or the feature race. We'll run you through those as and when we get underway. But now the race control message coming through. The sprint race has been postponed.
Yep, there we go then. Confirmation from the race control that the F3 sprint race is postponed due to the conditions. So, no idea then, I mean, when we're actually going to have this race. That's going to be annoying, but race postponed. I think the safest decision, to be fair. Now, is that for an hour? Is that staying on? We still don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, that's the thing about it. We don't know. We're going to have to stay on top of all the socials to work it out as well, to make sure that we aren't missing it. But, yeah, it will definitely be hard between FP3 and FP and qualifying. There's really there's not really any slot there, and Sky will get very mad if they do decide to try and fit anything in there. But yeah, Formula 2 is going to have its own issues later on today, and that's going to keep getting delayed, so there's absolutely no time there. Then it'll get very dark as well. Porsche Supercup, I'm guessing, will also be getting delays after F1 qualifying, and then, you know, we'll see when Formula 3 can come in, maybe.
Well, that's it. That's it. They are. It's going to be at the end of the day. I'm hearing they're going to try and fit it in the schedule, so it's not going to happen now. My thanks to Omi. My thanks to all of you at home. We'll keep you updated here for the British Grand Prix. But the sprint race, this one at least, is delayed. We'll see you soon. Bye bye.